They said segregation is over, but just look around. If you look around, you see that they are building a wall where we don't exist. From banning books to mass incarceration, from deportations to digital erasure, the message is clearer. A world without black and brown is the dream. And slowly, piece by piece, they are trying to make it real. What do you even think a world without black and brown would be? Some people are saying, yeah, they would want to actually be alone, right? Like my FBAs are saying, there's nothing wrong in we being alone. Some people don't want that. But to be honest, you see, the white folks are scared. They are scared of the day black people and brown people are going to say, okay, no, we want to be on our own, right? They are scared of it. And they keep doing all of these things, but trust me, very soon we're getting there. So I want you to actually watch these videos while I come with the conclusions. Now, if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe, like, turn on your notification bell. Remember, I said it's going to be very hot this week. So do not miss any part of it, right? I'll be bringing hot topics for you that you can't see anywhere, right? So stick around. I'll be back.
They're bringing back segregation because they know a world without black and brown people is coming, and it terrifies them. Trump just rolled back protections that ban segregated facilities for federal contractors, and the internet's acting shocked. But me, I'm not surprised, clearly. This is what desperate power looks like. This isn't about restoring order or merit-based hires. This is a tantrum from an almost 80-year-old man. White supremacy is in its flop era, and it's grasping at any old trick it can find. Segregation? Really? I feel like that's how we know they're scared. Because let's be real, black folks, we are unbothered. You can't shake people that have been surviving state-sanctioned violence since the dawn of time. We've had underfunded schools, medical negligence, and cultural erasure since day one. We don't panic when the system turns on us. We expect it. We don't fold. We multiply. We turn every block into a blueprint, every struggle into a strategy, and every threat into a legacy. As I said in my pinned video, a world without black and brown people is coming. Not because we're disappearing, because we're divesting.
One of the biggest things that I realized that nobody's talking about when it comes to segregation is that we don't mind it. It's white people that got the problem. Because when y'all realize that we literally don't need y'all get mad. We've created thousands of thriving black cities and countries. Because we can do it without y'all just don't get it. Y'all need to be all up in our space and all up in our mix. For what reason? Because when I've gone to primarily white spaces, I'm sorry, but I'm not impressed. But y'all can't say the same for us. Like, there's been over 100 massacres on black cities and towns simply because y'all are outraged that we can thrive, that we can come together, and that we can do things no matter what the circumstances are. Because last time I checked, it's white people that mainly benefit from government assistance. But y'all love to say it's us, don't y'all? But instead, we can take the bare minimum and create enormous things. Can you not do the same? I guess not, without the government's help.
Did you all really understand what we tried to tell you all, that Chicago is one of the most, Freudian slip, segregated cities in America? So you all looking for the black people. The segregation is not just black and white. And by the way, Chicago was the blueprint for post-Jim Crow, redlining, modern day segregation as you all know it in every city in the country. So if you want to get black American food, you go to the South Side or the West Side. Hood delicacies, that's where you go. And even within those areas, there are different cultures that you need to understand. It's very nuanced. If you want Mexican food, you primarily go to Pilsen, Little Village. If you want Greek food, there's a Greek town. If you want Chinese food, authentic Chinese food, or you can get Thai, you can get Vietnamese, let's say many of the Asian cuisines, you go to Chinatown. If you would like Indian Pakistani food, you will go up north to Devon. If you want to go where the Puerto Ricans are, primarily you go to Humboldt Park. Did I mention, like, for Italian, go to Little Italy? And the list goes on. So do you kind of get the picture? It is extremely segregated. So you have to know people so they can help you to navigate. So those of you all like, oh, I just want to pop in and do my thing. That's cool. But understand that, like, to really immerse yourself in the culture of Chicago, just get to know somebody. We're all around. Talk to us. Do some research.
I'm re-recording this message for quality purposes only. I want to make sure that the algorithm picks up this video and pushes it out as much as possible. I need every person of color, every black person to hear this video, to hear this message, okay? The Trump administration is looking to reinstate segregation for its federal workers, okay? Segregation, to which I literally said in my last video, and I'm going to say it again. Bring back segregation if you want to. Bring it back if you want to. You want to play them games? We can play them games. And like always, go and fact check this. You can find it on ABC News. You can find it on Politico, not political, but politico.com. You can find it on usnews.com and etc. Now, this is coming directly from the article, okay? Let's read. Segregated facilities could make a comeback as Trump's administration lifts discrimination ban on federal contracts. According to a public memo from General Services Administration, the GSA, the federal government will no longer prohibit contractors from having segregated waiting rooms, restaurants, and water fountains in order to secure government contracts. The memo reportedly states when issuing new solicitations or contracts, do not include any of the following provisions or clauses. The prohibition of segregated facilities. This move aligns with President Trump's broader executive order to repel diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives within the government and across the country. Now companies will have more leeway to decide whether or not to have segregated facilities, which include restrooms, restaurants, waiting areas, parking lots, and locker rooms. And like I said in the last video, please don't threaten us with a good time. Please don't threaten us with a good time. Bring back segregation if you want to. Bring back segregation if you want to. Let our Black teachers educate our Black students. Let our Black physicians treat our Black patients. Let our Black bankers and accountants help manage and help Black people better manage their money. Let our Black athletes, okay, play for their own Black teams. All right, let our Black people represent us in the Olympic Games. Bring it back all the way. Don't make it just a federal thing. Don't make it just a federal thing. Bring it back nationwide. Bring it back nationwide, because I promise you the Black people of today are not the Black people of back then. We didn't know any better. Now that we know what your spaces looks like, we don't give a fuck about being included in your spaces. How about that? This is not the game that you want to play. This is not the game that you want to play. I promise you, the Black community, you see how we're thriving right now? Just minding our business. We're not even doing anything. We're just minding our business. We all collectively said we're not coming outside for any of you people, and we're good. My bank account is thriving. I know a lot of other Black people whose bank accounts is thriving right now. I promise you, bring back segregation. And you know what? I'm going to even call your bluff. Bring back segregation for federal workers, and you don't even have to make an announcement about it being nationwide. We'll do it for you. We will do it for you. We will move in accordance to what you've started. I promise you that. Let it be let it be federal. Let any of our Black federal workers be like, yeah, so they've officially started segregation. Word? We bringing that shit on the outside too. We bringing that on the outside too. We have Black-owned restaurants. We have Black-owned businesses. All we need is to get our Black Wall Street up and running again. And this time, we dare y'all to try to burn that shit down. Blood will be shed, baby. Blood will be shed, I promise you. So go ahead. Go ahead. Play if you want to. I'm telling you, outside of all the atrocities that Donald Trump will commit within these next 4 years, one of the things he will be accredited for is finally uniting all Black people. All Black people. I promise you that. I promise you that. Bring it all the way the fuck back. Let us go back in history. We have been separating our Black dollars from you. Please, we would love to be able to separate our talent too. We would love to be able to separate our talent too. Let's see who really is the superior race.
Do you guys want to see and hear what it was like to be a Black American in 1965 going to a segregated park? My grandmother went and filmed everything, and I had her narrate what her experience was like. So you're going to see everything through her lens, through her eyes. And stay to the very end, and you get to see her in the flesh. Let's play the tape.
This is the year of 1965. We are at Paradise Park. That's my mother. She was born in 1916. She is holding her granddaughter's hand, my daughter. It was segregated during that time in 1965. We could only go to Paradise Park, the area that they had for colored, that we could see Silver Spring from Paradise Park. That boat there, now weren't allowed to even ride on that boat. That was called the Jungle Cruise. It's only for white people to ride on. They didn't send that one over to us, but they did send the glass bottom boat. The area that they had for us, for being colored, it was just, the grass wasn't as green, the trees weren't, a lot of shrubbery weren't as pretty, the flowers weren't arranged as pretty. It just didn't look like their side. Well, it made us feel like second-class citizens. As my family, my husband, my dad holding his granddaughter too, to come to a place, spend your money like they spend their money, pay the same price to get into the park, but we had to get into a dull, not as pretty, not having the birds that was flying around in there. No way should we go back to what I went through, what I saw, what I had to go through. When I saw the big Jungle Cruise boat come by, I wanted to really ride on that boat. That boat was taking the people deeper into Silver Springs to see more of the animals that they had there and other, I guess, scenery. But we weren't allowed. Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching the videos that I shot, and thank you for the comments that you made. Made me feel happy, made me feel like I want to cry from what some of you said, and that's just the way it was back in my time coming up, and I just felt that you should, I'm glad you appreciated what I shot.
Okay, so I have historical thoughts. The year is 2025. And we are going backwards. So while he's out here banning books about Black American history, he's deciding that segregation is no longer being banned at the federal level. Because, I mean, why the fuck not? So there's a segregation clause at the federal level that is to prohibit segregation in federal facilities, right? I'm sorry, public facilities. The clause is the Federal Acquisition Regulation, which is also known as FAR, and it says it prohibits segregated facilities. You cannot segregate facilities as work areas, restaurants, drinking fountains, transportation, housing, and more. It says you can't segregate based on race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, and national origin. Remember when I said on my larger page years ago that if they come for the Reconstruction Amendments, Black people would be in big trouble? And people were like, no, he'll never do that. It's because of the Constitution. It'll never come out. Now he has gone after the 14th Amendment, which is a Reconstruction Amendment, which impacts Black people's citizenship in this country. And now he's bringing back segregation. But we're just, yeah. And then you had all these Trump supporters and all these non-voters who were saying that we were making everything about race. No, everything has always been about race in America. Everything has been about race in this country since its inception. And telling Black people that they should get over it was always a slap in the face and such a reminder how much people did not understand American history and how racism is woven into the very fabric of this country. But I want to remind y'all that racism wasn't a deal breaker for a lot of you. And here we are, March of 2025, facing segregation. And some people are like, oh, well, we need to be separate anyway. We want our own and all this. No, you don't understand. Integration wasn't just about trying to integrate into white spaces. No, it was not. It was about resources. So when it comes to segregating things like housing, it doesn't just mean you have a Black neighborhood, you have a white neighborhood. No. It means you have certain resources within certain neighborhoods that are not going to be accessible. It means that certain schools will not get the tax credits to fund these schools, to make sure that children have proper education, access to food and materials that they need, access to special needs services. The man is literally bringing us back to Jim Crow. He said he would do it. They wrote Project 2025. They told us they were going to do it. And here we are in the midst of going back to the 1950s. And some of you were like, well, if it was me and I was up in that time, they would have never did that. You want to know what you would be doing if you lived through Jim Crow? You would be doing exactly what you're doing right now. People voted for him even to their own detriment because they hated black people. They truly hated black people. It wasn't about the economy. It wasn't about eggs. It wasn't about jobs. It wasn't about none of that. It was about the simple fact that y'all hated black people. And a black man had the audacity to be president. And a black woman had the audacity to be vice president. And you could not stand it. So now we're going back to segregation. And if you think it can't happen at the state level, do you not know what these red states are doing? We have Greg Abbott here in Texas, who is so far up 47's taint, he needs an enema. We are here because America could not stand the idea that having a black woman in leadership was too much. And your hatred for black women, black people, was greater than the idea of being led by a black woman. That's why we are here.
Okay, so I have seen some really, really great think pieces and narratives and jokes about this whole segregation thing. But I want to be able to let you know that the whole segregation thing has nothing to do with black people and has everything to do with white people. Follow me, okay? So it reminds me of Toni Morrison, who is my favorite author. She is a black author, but she is my favorite author, period. And she was being interviewed by a white woman. And essentially the white woman asked, like, when are you going to elevate your writing and include the white perspective in it, like, or the right, or the white gaze in it, as she would say. And Toni Morrison replied that, I'm not. Because Toni Morrison believed that her books could be read by everybody, but she wrote her books for black people. And if you're not a part of black culture, there are certain things within our culture that mandates explanation so that those that are not a part of our culture can understand it. Toni Morrison took that out of her writing. So she said, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, then you don't. But I'm only writing through the black lens for the black experience and the black gaze. That is it. And so when the lady asked that question, Toni Morrison said, I'm never going to do that. And the reality is that black people live very, very full lives and white people aren't even a thought. Like, black people tend to live their lives in a way where we do not think about what white people are doing. And that is very true. It is very factual. A lot of black people only interact with white people because they go to work with them, right? So if they do not work with white people and you're black, how many times are you socializing with white people outside of work? For a lot of black people, you don't really socialize a lot of times at work, after work, with white people. And so when you have that reality, then it begs for you to be able to go down a line of questioning, right? Which is, what is the issue with segregation? And I've seen some white people on here that was like, white people should be saying that segregation is bad. And the reality is that no, that's not really the problem, right? Because the problem is that we were separate and not equal. That's the problem. It was the maltreatment. Because the reality is that we are no longer segregated. But yet we are still mistreated. We still are not offered the same amount of opportunities. We are still not paid the same rate. We are still not afforded the equality of it. So what white people did was, okay, fine. We will desegregate. It's fine. But once black people entered these spaces, we were still being mistreated. And so the question could actually be, if we had equality, right? If we had equal access to buying land, equal access to be able to garner wealth, equal pay, and we were never desegregated, would desegregation actually be necessary? And there is when you take a look at what was happening with the Tulsa riot, is the fact that black people were equal and separate, right? They had land, they had businesses, they were accruing wealth. It was the wealthiest black community. And white people who were not a part of the community, very much separate, and yet we are equal, right? They have banks, they have people that build, they have people that, grocery stores, they have houses, they have neighborhoods, they have milkmen, they have mailmen. White people have their own neighborhoods, white people have their own businesses, white people have their own groceries, white people have their own things, separate but very much equal. And white people looked over and said, what are they doing over there? And bombed it, right? Because otherwise, if black people continue on prospering on their own, why would any black person say, I need to be over there? There's an argument for that. And so then when you look further, taking a look at desegregation, right? Whose lives improved due to closer proximity of white and black people? White people. Their lives improved. Their logic improved. all of a sudden they begin to be enlightened on the reality of the fact that they themselves were lied to. Otherwise, had they not come into proximity with Black people, there is no reason for them to believe that their ancestors ever did anything wrong. Or there's also no reason to believe that they are more like Black people than what they were told. Because many, many years ago, the Republican Party, right, they said that the way that you are able to steal from poor white people is to convince them that they're better than Black people. And if you can convince them of that, you can steal money from out of their pockets and they would never notice. So here we are, where we are no longer desegregated. And you see all over this app where you have white people that are learning a lot about historical truths that Black people already knew. We already knew these things. But you have white people on a daily that are like, I didn't know that. That's not what I was taught. I wasn't taught that, right? You have whole religious sects of people that were literally taught that the Civil War was not about slavery. You literally have all of these white people that had no clue that Juneteenth existed, or why it existed, or how many years it actually took post-emancipation for the last slave to actually be freed. Proximity has caused for a lot of the misinformation fed to white people to perpetuate racism, to be dismantled. And so you literally have people that are white nationalists. I need you to follow. You literally have people that are white nationalists that are now running the Republican Party, right? In order for them to bring white people back into subjugation, we have to separate them from minorities, because they are learning truths that causes it to be extremely difficult for us to tell them that Black people are subservient, because proximity means that you are able to identify where we overlap. Now they're understanding the humanity of minorities. And now they're not going to go along with the Aryan beliefs that white people are the elite race and they are better than another ethnic group and they deserve to have things by virtue of them being white. Do you see how segregation has nothing to do with Black people and has everything to do with getting white people back in line? Are you understanding what's going on here? Because it's never for the sake of Black people, which is why Black people is like, we cool. Segregate, separate, illuminate, elucidate, do whatever you got to do. And that is a very true reality, because we have only known desegregation. But we have also only known that when we're in your proximity, we are still killed. We are still murdered. We are still mistreated. We are still shunned. We do not have the same access, even though we are in closer proximity. So if our lives have not changed by becoming in closer proximity, why would we continue to be close? Okay, separate us. But you have white people that are like, no, segregation is wrong. Why? Because your life has changed because of proximity. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Do you get this now? Are you tracking? The segregation thing has nothing to do with Black people and everything to do with trying to put white people back in their place. Okay? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay, everyone. Look above. We have Manny. We need segregation. I support it 1,000%. We shouldn't be forced to live around, look at you, or smell your kind. I'll probably move to an all-white only state. All right, Manny, I'm going to let my good girl Topanga tell you how that's not really going to work too well for you and give you some facts and some history lessons. And, I can't tell you because you're not going to believe a word that I say, but Topanga, she's pretty good at responding. Let's see what she says.
Let's break this down with some facts, because clearly, history wasn't your strong subject. You say you want an all-white only state? Hate to break it to you, but every time that was attempted, it failed. Let's talk Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, a thriving, self-sustained Black community in the 1920s filled with successful businesses, banks, doctors, and entrepreneurs. It wasn't segregation that destroyed it. It was white mobs who couldn't stand to see Black excellence thrive without them. Let's go global. South Africa under apartheid. White-controlled segregation left the economy in shambles because, surprise, oppressing the majority of the workforce collapses industries. When apartheid ended, guess what? The economy rebounded with inclusion. And let's be real, modern America relies on Black labor, Black culture, Black innovation. From agriculture and industry to music, sports, and technology, Black contributions fuel entire markets. Even the basic traffic light, invented by a Black man, Garrett Morgan. So tell me, in this all-white dream state of yours, who's going to build your infrastructure? Entertain you? Create the culture you copy? Because history shows when y'all try to go it alone, it doesn't go well. Segregation wasn't about separate but equal. It was about stealing Black labor and resources while blocking access to opportunity. And the fact that you feel the need to comment this shows who really doesn't want to be around who. So if you're so eager to remove yourself, the world is big. Go find that all-white paradise. But don't be shocked when you realize diversity is what keeps societies thriving. You might want to study history before making ignorant comments like this again.
Ooh. Well, Manny, I hope that was enough information for you. I know that you're going to have to look up some things because it's usually the uneducated that says those type of things. Like, and I can't believe you said, smell us, honey. Me and mine ain't never smelt a day in our lives, but we're not even going to get into that. We're going to leave that one alone. I'm going to let you have that. But let's stay focused. Have fun in whatever paradise that you want to go to. We're not going to miss you, I promise. But like I said, in all my other videos, if anyone wants to play in our faces, we will take away our black dollar. Why does that get under y'all skin? Like, we're going to take away our black dollar. Anybody who plays in our face, we're going to take away our black dollar. Even though you guys feel like our black dollar doesn't matter, hey, that's fine. It wouldn't make you guys so upset when I say it. But you know, it is what it is. But if you have any more questions or have anything else you want to say in my comments and you would like to reply to this, go ahead. I'll come to you again with more facts and more history since it seems like you don't know either or. Have a good day.
White people love to segregate themselves from Black people, but they do not want us to build community without them because they fear that our communities will thrive more than theirs. They are scared of what an all-Black community would mean for them. They're talking about segregation now because to them, segregation is power. It is their way of controlling us. And again, they're also trying to incite us. So that way we take the streets and they can kill us. Okay? That's exactly what's going on here. Okay? And let me just tell you, white people, our communities will thrive. We don't need you.
Since we're going to be segregated, I would like to propose a few things be returned back to us that never really should have been taken from us in the first place. The first one is our food. Okay, so there's really no reason why people should be enjoying soul food when it was, it was scraps that we had to make something out of nothing with. So yeah, we're going to take that back. Our music, we will definitely take our music back. And I'm not just talking about R&B and hip hop. Okay, I am also talking about rock and roll. There's no way that Elvis could be the king of rock and roll when you have Chuck Berry and Little Richard. So we'll go ahead and we'll take that back as well. Speaking of music, we will take all styles of dance back, including the dances that were created on TikTok that white influencers started doing, and they thought that they made famous and did not give Black creators their credit. So we'll take all of that back. Give us our hairstyles back. There's no reason that you guys should be wearing locks, braids, doing your edges, wrapping your hair, and doing all of the cool things that we can do with our hair. There's absolutely no reason for that. Y'all deem it ghetto and unprofessional when we do it anyway, and y'all call it trendy when y'all do it. We're not doing it. Give it back. Do the Viking braid. Y'all ate that up. We will go ahead and take streetwear, urban wear back, and sneaker culture, because remember, Jordans are ghetto and y'all don't even know how to treat Air Force One. So we'll go ahead and we'll take that back as well. If y'all could return Ebonics to us, that would be great. Notice how I did not say AAVE, because I don't know how y'all going to take something that doesn't belong to y'all and rebrand it. Okay, it has never been African American vernacular English to me. It's always been slang and Ebonics. So we'll go ahead and take that back. Those things include but not limited to, like and did, is giving, not too much on, period, my bae, things like that. Y'all ain't even, because those were considered to be uneducated words and phrases. So we will go ahead and take that back as well. If y'all could also return our beauty trends, that would be great if y'all could do that. There's no reason why y'all out here getting lip fillers, getting surgery, going to tanning beds and all of that. Y'all don't have to do that. Y'all can give it back. All in all, we just want our shit back. Okay. And I know, there's somebody who's watching. It's like, oh, well, culture is to be shared. Yeah, but not appropriated. And it's been real appropriated around this bitch. So we'll just take all of that shit back since it's going to be segregated. And lastly, before I get out y'all's way, since I have y'all here, the outrage by the white people, I'm not moved. This has been the same America that we've always lived in. So it's, oh, I don't know how you guys are just laying down and accepting this. And, oh, I'm so upset for the Black people in my life. And I don't understand why y'all wasn't upset before. So yeah, I'm not moved by that. But if y'all want to go out here and protest, go and do y'all's big one. We don't care. We actually are here for it. Be well, beloveds.
Child, they trying to bring back segregation, and all I gotta say is, thank God! I don't think these people understand that this isn't gonna work the way that it worked during Jim Crow. We are in a social and economic climate where there's a good amount of people from different races that are literally sick of America and its BS. There also is a few successful boycotts that are going on right now that are showing these people we are not playing. I more specifically want to talk about the black dollar and the black social capital, and the fact that if these businesses and contractors choose to exercise their right to segregate, that's not only gonna make a dent in their business, but the whole economy in general. A lot of people underestimate the black dollar and how much we spend, whether it be good or bad, at these specific companies, and how much we actually bring in revenue to these people. And when it comes to social capital, black people are usually the ones behind the popularization of these brands. If we're not the ones that are making it or inspiring it, we are literally the ones that's giving the businesses or whatever trends the traction that it needs. It's not cool or wanted until black people say it's cool and they want it. And it's not black people who should be scared, it should be the culture vultures, because where are you gonna get your inspiration from now, Bookie Butt? Like, y'all remember on TikTok a few years ago when the black dancers decided that they weren't gonna come up to any more dances because y'all could not credit them, and then there hasn't been a good dance trend on here since? Yeah, that's exactly what's about to happen to your business. And contrary to whatever people believe, America needs the black dollar and black creativity. They know the power that we hold. That's why when we did have predominantly black towns back in the day, like Oscarville, which is better known as Lake Lanier now, and then as well as in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the massacre that occurred there, that's why they came into our towns and did what they did, because they know that by ourselves, we can create a certain level of economic and social capital that they couldn't even dream of, despite what happened to us. All in all, I vote in favor. Just because when I pull up to your establishment or I look on your Google profile, all I need to see is that whites only sign and I'm good. I ain't even gotta waste my time with my money coming up in here knowing it's gonna be some tomfoolery, okay? Clock it.
Into this school before, Sharon?
Yes, sir.
You have a lot of new classmates this year, white kids for the first time. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think if, like...
You or what?
Yes, sir, it's just my first day going to school with these kids.
How does it feel? Does it feel different to you?
It feels the same way as going together with all the black kids. It feels the same to me.
Some people say the parents make more to do about all this than the young people. What do you think about that?
Oh, I don't understand your question.
Well, some people say the parents worry more about integrating the schools than the kids. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. We just have to go along with what they say about it.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What grade are you in, Sharon?
8.
Can I talk to you, miss? This is Patricia Baker. Miss Baker, you've been here before to the school, right?
No, I haven't.
Well, this is your first year here.
Uh-huh.
What are your thoughts about going to school with so many white kids for the first time?
Well, I think it's all right. You know, I think we all should be together. And I hope that we could get along together.
How do your parents feel about it?
Well, really, I won't be going here because I will have to go to Farnsville. And I think I'll be with more white over at Farnsville than I will over here.
Oh, do your parents say anything, your folks?
No, they didn't say anything. They said that it would be nice, you know, to have the white and the black together.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Be all right. I think the same thing too.
You think it's going to be okay?
I don't.
Why not?
I don't. Because the first day that I went out there, well, we had a scramble, you know. But it was okay.
You expecting a scramble today?
Well, not so far, but I think I'll make it. A little, I hope.
Does it bother you to be riding a bus?
No.
You think most of the kids are going to go to school today, or are they going to stay home and wait and see what happens?
I think most of them will go today. It'll be all right, as long as don't be no trouble.
You're going to Skyline now, right?
Righteous.
What do you think about this busing thing?
Well, I think we'll make it the first few days, but the rest of them will be kind of tough.
Why is that?
Well, some of the students are hanging out to see how things going on, and most of them are troublemakers.
The ones who are hanging out?
Yeah.
So when they start coming to school, you think it's going to get bad?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will.
What do you expect?
There's going to be a lot of fighting.
Are you concerned for your daughter, or is she concerned?
Well, I'm concerned for her, and I think she's concerned for her education.
Laverne just talked to your mother, and she said you're a little concerned, are you?
I'm very much concerned.
Why?
Oh, because I want to be sure and very, very, I want to be very sure about this here, and I want them to really know what they're doing. And I think that it will work out if everybody cooperate together, because, I mean, this is not their probably first time. I mean, you got to be together sometime. And I don't think it's no problem if everybody cooperate.
Mostly Caucasian kids. They were pretty nice in the classroom, but outside it was a different matter. You know, like we got along in the class all right. We spoke to each other and borrowed pencils and paper and everything, and helped each other in our classwork. But outside, when they got with their friends, and I guess the same on our side, when we got with ours, we sort of ignored each other. But I think it was more on their part because I used to try to talk to the girl that sat next to me on the outside, and she would, sort of shy away. I guess she was ashamed to, be seen with me or something. But I didn't pay too much attention to it. All of them seemed a little bit more confident of what they were going to do. They were going to go to college. One girl was going to become an actress and everything. And on our side, there was sort of they were sort of apprehensive about what they were going to do. I guess that's because even I was, because I really don't know if I'm going to college.
America has always used race and sex as power tools. Way back before we were even a country, of course, pale men raped enslaved women and children, but many, many years later, they were still abusing their power and privilege to abuse black women and girls. It was sometimes called nighttime integration. By day, segregation was enforced. It was everywhere: churches, schools, stores, water fountains, you name it. But by night, white men used the social power that came with their skin color to take sex from black women and girls. They used threats, coercion, jobs, jail, violence, and that secretive dark of night to get what they wanted. The law didn't stop them. In most cases, it protected them. Besides, who was going to file charges against a pale man for raping a black woman or girl? These women and girls were maids, cooks, nannies, students, farm workers, or just someone the pale guy happened to see around. Maybe they worked for the family and lived in the servant quarters on the property, or maybe they lived in the black part of town just a few blocks away, close enough for white men to get to them, but not close enough to be protected. It was rare for black women to report sexual assaults by pale men. To be clear, it was rare for pale women to report sexual assaults, too. Men were protected by the religious and social prudishness of the times. Women felt ashamed of sexual assault, even when they were forced against their will. If pale women reported it, it wasn't unusual to claim that a black man did it, even when that was not true. A lot of black men and boys suffered because of that. But black females were even less likely to report. Everyone knew what would happen if they did. They'd be punished for lying on a white man at best. They could lose their jobs, they could be beaten or thrown in jail, they could be killed. Their families could face consequences too: eviction, retaliation, violence, more violence. This wasn't just an individual trauma. It became a collective one and a generational one. Families carried the burden in silence. Children born from these assaults were often kept secret, denied, or forced to live with unanswered questions. Some grew up in the same towns as their white fathers or half-siblings, knowing they could never say a word. Churches sure didn't talk about it. They said sex was a sin unless you were married, and it was illegal for black people and white people to marry. So schools didn't teach it. History books erased it. But the reality was passed down in those secret ways generational trauma is passed down, without really understanding where all this pain actually came from because of all the secrets. Meanwhile, pale communities clung to their mask of moral superiority. Pale women may have known something was off with their husband insisting on driving the housekeeper home instead of having her ride the bus like everyone else, but they knew it was best not to ask too many questions. Black women knew it was bad news if the boss had them work late. This is American history, our collective history. It's not just black history, although it certainly is black history, but it's white history too. It's the history of our country. The exploitation, the silence, the bloodlines, the fear, not as a side note, but as part of the core curriculum of our shared history. Because we don't get to build a better country if we can't even face the one we already built. One share says you care about true American history and you want the whole thing to be told. Get curious.
They want a world where black and brown people are silent, missing, erased. But what we don't realize is we are not going anywhere. We are the culture, we are the resistance, we are the future. Yes, the world needs every shade of us because if they are trying to build a world without us, we'll build one that they can't live without. Hey, say amen. Remember, if we're going with everything. And when we go with everything, definitely they can't live without us. So we're getting there. We're looking at the whole segregation thing and we're just behaving as if we don't know what is happening. But trust me, awakening has started. A lot of people are beginning to know that these people, we won't let them just use us like that, right? And so that is why a lot of people, especially Black Americans, have awakened. And trust me, there's something with people who have always been quiet, people who have been tolerating people. The day they wake up, fear that people. And let me tell you something you don't know. Also fear people who always leave things to God. I always say that in my videos. If you see someone who is not confrontational, they've not gone to war, they've not gone to war with you all, fear them. Those people are silently saying, we are leaving you all to God to judge. And let me tell you, when you're left to God to judge you, you are messed up. I'll see you on the next one. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and I want to see your comments in the comments right section. I love you all, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.